Hey, fellow introverts, welcome to my first official episode. So I'm excited. Today we're going to be talking about body language tips to build confidence. Okay, so we all know as introverts, one of the skills that we lack in comparison to our extroverted peers is the body confidence, the body language to show confidence when we're speaking to people, when we're networking, when we're in meetings and things like that. So here are a few tips that I learned along the way that helped me to build my body language confidence. So number one, maintain eye contact. Now that one is very difficult because it can be done in a way that you don't do it enough and you come out a little bit socially awkward, or you do it too much and then you really come out socially awkward. So it's that fine amount of time you spend staring into somebody's eyes to show that, hey, I see you, I hear you, I understand what you're saying, but not enough to be weird. So you have to find that right amount of time. And that's I would say about 2 to 3 seconds of eye contact. You kind of look away, then 2 to 3 seconds of eye contact, maybe look away again, look at the person's hair, look at the person's nose, look to the side of the person, but don't stare at the person dead in their eye as they're talking to you for a whole minute. It's not a good look. Eye contact helps to demonstrate that you're actively listening and engaged to what the person is saying to you. Avoid staring intensely and aim for a soft gaze. Another body language tip to build confidence is body posture. So you want to make sure that you're sitting up straight or standing up upright, that you're not hunched over or just kind of sitting in the corner and elbows hunched. Good posture signals confidence and alertness. So you want to sit up straight, right? And make sure that your back is straight and your shoulders are relaxed. And just make sure you're exuding confidence. Tip number 3 is to use open gestures. Now you want to make sure that your arms are not crossed, right? Where you're looking like you're on the defensive. So you want to make sure that your arms are relaxed. You also want to make sure that you're using open gestures like open hand gestures to make and emphasize a point, right? But you don't want to be using your hands throughout the entire speech, right? You want to make sure that your arms are relaxed. And then if you need to emphasize a point, you can, emphasize with your hands, keep your arms open gestures. And again, it would exude confidence and trust. Next tip is you want to limit fidgeting, right? So you want to limit, playing with the hair, right? You want to limit that. You want to limit, tapping of the hands, moving of tapping of your feet, fidgeting of your legs and feet, right? Tapping on the floor. You want to make sure that you're grounded. So if you need to place your 2 feet flat on the floor, do that. If you need to place your arms flat on your chair to steady yourself, do that. But make sure you're not fidgeting. Next tip is space management. So you always want to make sure that you're taking up space. You don't want to sit in a room. If you're in a room sitting in between people, you feel like you have to kind of squeeze into this tight spot between them. No, take up space, fill up your space. Taking up space shows that you are comfortable and that you are present. So make sure you take up the space and sit comfortably in your seat. I do this when I'm on the plane. Sometimes I get stuck in that middle seat, which is horrible. And a lot of times if I'm stuck in the middle seat, the 2 people to the left and to the right of me, they tend to spread their legs, and then their legs come into my space. And I remember when I would just try to squeeze in between the 2 of them, okay, I don't want them to touch me. I don't want to touch them, make it an uncomfortable plane ride. But now when I see that they're taking up my space, I sit back, I spread my legs, and I push against theirs, and I take up space, okay? Take up space. You exist, you are worthy. Take up the space that you need. The next tip is your facial expressions. Now, this is very important. I had to stop recording myself as I spoke because I wasn't aware of the facial expressions I was doing. I'm sure I'm doing it now to you guys too. But I noticed I did not smile a lot. And it wasn't intentional. I thought I was smiling, but it was almost like a scowl. It was... So I had to be very intentional when I speak that, Maka, remember to smile, So you always want to make sure that you smile as you're speaking to somebody, practice in front of a mirror, record yourself talking, and you'll catch some of the facial expressions that you do naturally. And then you will be more mindful of it as you start speaking to people in the future, right? So record yourself, practice in front of a mirror. Next tip, steady breathing. Now, we introverts, we get very nervous when we're about to speak in public or speak to someone, and we tend to be breathing a little fast, right? And then we rush through what we're trying to say. And then the person listening to us is like, what did you say? And they totally lose whatever it is we're trying to relate to them. Deep breaths, slow it down, and speak. This one I love. Somebody taught me this tip in college, and to this day, I get compliments on this all the time. It is your handshake. You want to give a firm handshake. Now, you don't want, depending on who you're shaking, right? If I'm shaking a guy's hand, I squeeze a little bit harder. If I'm shaking a lady's hand, I don't squeeze as hard, but I make sure it's nice and firm to say like, yes, I am here, I have confidence, what I have to say matters, right? So it exudes, I'm telling you, it's one of the biggest thing that exudes confidence when you first meet somebody is that firm handshake that you give them. And they think like, oh, wow, this person seems so confident and probably has something important to say and tell me. So it's very key. Ensure your handshake is firm, but not overpowering, and it definitely sets the tone of your encounter. And that's it. Those are the tips that I suggest to help you build confidence through improving your body language when you speak into people. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel for more tips on being an introvert and trying to climb up that leadership ladder. Till next time, take care.